Hey y'all, picture this, it's a freezing February night in Chicago, the kind where the wind cuts through your coat like it's got a personal vendetta, and Marcus Thompson, a single dad, is trudging down Michigan Avenue, dead on his feet after pulling a double shift at the warehouse. His only thought, getting home to his 8-year-old daughter, Lena, who's probably waiting up, coloring, or sneaking another chapter of her science book. But then out of nowhere he sees a woman in a sharp blazer collapse on the sidewalk, her briefcase spilling papers like confetti, and the crowd? They just keep moving, stepping around her like she's a crack in the pavement. Marcus doesn't think twice, he's at her side, hands on her chest, pumping hard, counting under his breath, fighting to keep her alive, not knowing this one moment's gonna flip his whole world upside down. Let me take you back. Marcus is 35, a guy who's been running on fumes since his wife, Aisha, passed from a stroke 2 years ago. He's raising Lena alone in a cramped apartment in Englewood, working 12-hour shifts moving boxes, plus weekend security gigs just to cover rent and her school supplies. Life's a grind, bills pile up. The fridge is half empty most weeks, and every night he's haunted by the memory of Aisha, lying still on their kitchen floor, gone before he could do anything. He's not a hero, just a dad trying to keep his kid's world from falling apart. That night, as he's rushing to catch the 9:15 bus, he spots her, Claire Donovan, mid-50s, decked out in a suit that screams money, clutching her chest, gasping, hitting the ground hard. The crowd's a blur of coats and phone screens, some dudes filming. Another guy checks his watch like he's late for a steak dinner. Marcus drops his lunch bag, shoves through, and kneels beside her. Her face is gray, lips turning blue, eyes wide with panic. "Ma'am, hang on, I got you," he says, voice steady even though his heart's hammering. He's got CPR training from work, never thought he'd use it. "Call 911, he yells, but nobody moves until a girl in a hoodie finally dials, hands shaking. 30 compressions, 2 breaths, his arms burn, his mind flashes to Aisha, to failing her, to promising himself he'd never let that happen again. "Not today," he mutters, pressing harder. Sirens wail closer, paramedics burst through, and Marcus steps back, panting, as they take over. "You got a pulse because of him," the paramedic, a guy named Ruiz, says, clapping Marcus's shoulder. Claire's loaded into the ambulance, her papers stuffed back in her case, and just like that, Marcus is alone again, picking up his crushed sandwich, hands still trembling, missing his bus. Across town, Claire wakes up in Northwestern Memorial, monitors beeping, chest aching like she's been hit by a truck. She's the CEO of Horizon Innovations, a tech giant worth billions, with a penthouse in the Loop and a life most folks only dream of. But right now, she's just a woman who was dead for 87 seconds. Her doctor, a no-nonsense woman named Patel, lays it out. "You had a heart attack. A bystander saved your life." Claire's floored. She's built an empire, but none of it mattered when her heart quit. Someone stopped, someone cared, and she doesn't even know his name. She calls her security chief, Leo Carter, voice hoarse but sharp. "Find him, Leo. I don't care what it takes." 3 days later, Claire's got a file on Marcus Thompson: no college, 2 jobs, a daughter, $2,800 owed to a funeral home for Aisha's burial, living on $29,000 a year. She stares at his DMV photo, sees the tired eyes, the quiet strength, and something shifts. She grew up in a 1-bedroom in Pilsen, her dad scrubbing floors to build a small business, her mom counting pennies for groceries. She'd forgotten that life, buried it under boardrooms and stock options. Now, it's staring her in the face. Claire shows up at Marcus's apartment, a 5th-floor walk-up with peeling paint and a broken elevator. She's in jeans, but her shoes still cost more than his rent. Lena opens the door, all braids and bright eyes, grinning. "Daddy, there's a fancy lady here." Marcus, in a faded tee, freezes when he sees Claire. You're okay?" he stammers, rubbing his neck. "I'm Claire Donovan. You saved my life," she says, pulling out an envelope with $40,000. Marcus doesn't touch it. "I didn't do it for money," he says, voice firm. "Aisha always said doing right's its own reward." Lena's watching, curious, as Claire's respect deepens. She leaves the envelope, but Marcus never opens it. 3 days later, she's back, this time with a job offer: facilities manager at Horizon, $75,000 a year, full benefits. Marcus hesitates, doubt gnawing at him. I'm no suit, Claire. I don't belong in your world. Lena, overhearing, grabs his arm. Daddy, you fix everything. You can do this. Her faith in a list she scribbles. Reasons Daddy should take the job, tips the scale. He texts Claire that night. I'm in. When do I start? Marcus's first day at Horizon's gleaming downtown tower is a disaster. The security guard, a guy named Frank, eyes him like he's casing the joint. You're the new manager? ID. Marcus, in a too-big suit from Aisha's funeral, feels every stare in the marble lobby. Claire swoops in, voice like steel. Frank, he's with me. Get his ID sorted now. Upstairs, Marcus meets his team, 4 white-collar types, led by Greg, a smug guy with a golf tan who smirks. So, how many years of management you got? Marcus admits, none, but I've kept buildings running for 15 years. Greg's smile doesn't reach his eyes. Lunchtime, the team heads out, leaving Marcus with his peanut butter sandwich, staring at a city he doesn't fit into. But then, a crisis: the 17th floor's AC dies, and Greg's panicking, quoting $600 for a contractor. Marcus grabs the blueprints, finds a jammed valve in the mechanical room, and fixes it in 15 minutes, shirt streaked with grease. Greg's stunned. That was something. Claire, watching, just smiles. Told you belong. Months pass, and Marcus grows into the job, learning spreadsheets, earning grudging respect. Claire mentors him over coffee, sharing her own scrappy roots, and Lena starts hanging out at the office, charming the team with her science talk. But then, during a board meeting, Claire collapses again, clutching her chest. Marcus is there, CPR again, heart pounding as he counts, Lena's voice on his phone, sobbing. You have to save her, Daddy, like last time. In the hospital, Claire pulls through after a bypass, and Lena, drawing anatomical hearts, asks, Could you be my stepmom? Marcus freezes, torn. Loving Claire feels like betraying Aisha. At Aisha's grave, Lena says, Mommy, Daddy's happy again. You'd like Claire. A leaf falls on the headstone, and Marcus feels peace, like Aisha's giving her blessing. A year later, under a maple in Grant Park, Marcus and Claire marry, Lena beaming in a lilac dress. A chair holds Aisha's photo, yellow tulips around it. At the reception, Claire announces the Aisha Thompson Scholarship, funding college for kids like Lena. As stars light up the Chicago sky, Marcus whispers to Aisha's memory, We're building something, baby, just like you said. Lena, holding their hands, says, I've got 3 parents now. That's pretty cool. So what do you think? Can love grow without erasing the past? Was Marcus right to take that leap, or was Claire's offer too good to be true? Drop a comment. Share your take. Let's talk about second chances, family, and what makes a life worth living. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more stories that hit you right in the heart.